Play ball, sports fans. Football season is kicking into gear and the action is already in full swing. I'm Tyler Segerman.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. This week on the Leaderboard, we're bringing you highlights from all over the football world. From high school to college to the NFL, we've got you covered. He was a local standout and now coaches on Sundays. We catch up with Glass City star Kevin Koger. Staying in the NFL is our top 11 of the week, and it's back with a special Rocket twist.
From the Horseshoe in Columbus and to the Doit in BG, we were live covering the Buckeyes and Falcons in week one. Hear what the players and coaches had to say about its season opening wins.
Plus, our poll of the week, parent shout out, and even a splash of fun. We've got it all on the Leaderboard, so let's jump right in. From Whitmer High to Michigan's Big House to NFL sidelines, Toledo native Kevin Koger has lived football at the highest levels. This week in our Where Are They Now series, Dan Cummins and Jamison Turbrack show us how his story still circles back home right here in the Glass City.
North side of Toledo. At Whitmer, Kevin Koger became a two-way standout, earning All-Ohio honors as defensive end while also starring at tight end. But for Koger, the journey began in the backyard with family.
Definitely my dad and my brother. You know, I'm the younger one of the two brothers, and since ever I can remember, my brother, he played football, so naturally, being the younger brother, I always wanted to do what the older brother did.
By his sophomore year at Whitmer, Koger was helping build something special under new head coach Joe Palka.
Joe Palka comes in, he becomes a new head coach, and I feel like Joe Palka, what made it special at that time is that he took Whitmer to a place that it hadn't been before. So it was special for me being in the embryonic stages of that point of the Whitmer football program, kind of taking it to a place where it hadn't been up to that point.
That success brought national attention. Both Ohio State and Michigan came calling. And while Columbus was just down the road, Ann Arbor always felt like home.
Ultimately, you know, I remember talking to my mom one day. She was like, "Didn't you always grow up a Michigan fan?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "So why aren't you going there?" I was like, "Never really thought about it like that." So woke up the next day and I committed to Michigan.
At Michigan, Koger became a four-year starter at tight end, named captain in 2011, and helping lead the Wolverines to an 11-win season and Sugar Bowl victory. Along the way, he built relationships that remain to this day.
From a football aspect, you know, I feel like when you ask a lot of the former players what they miss most, is definitely the camaraderie, the locker room, those relationships, the people. And Michigan's such a special place that some of those people are still there to this day.
But a month before the NFL draft, Koger tore his Achilles. Suddenly, the dream shifted from playing to coaching.
I needed something to do. You know, ironically enough, Joe Palka was the head coach at Saline at the time, and I remember I contacted him one night and said, "Hey, if I'm around in the area this fall, if you guys need help, let me know. We'd love to help you guys out." 5 minutes later, he shoots me a text, "Hey, you can coach the slots in the tight end." So I was like, "Let's do it."
That phone call launched a new career path. Koger worked his way up from Saline High School to graduate assistant at Michigan to college stops across the country. Eventually, he broke into the NFL, now serving as tight ends coach for the Atlanta Falcons.
Being involved in the entire offense, you know, just from a run game perspective, pass game perspective, pass protection perspective, you know, we have our hands in everything, you know, and there's a lot that's required of the tight end position from a mental standpoint because we have to know all three.
And in the NFL, his Whitmer roots came full circle, Koger reuniting with fellow Panther Storm Norton, who played tackle for the Chargers, while Koger was on staff in Los Angeles. Two Whitmer products working side by side on football's biggest stage.
I think one of the coolest things for me is like not knowing Whitmer high school football isn't like a big national brand, but you know, me and Storm, like being able to work side by side day in and day out for an NFL franchise, I think that's a huge deal. I don't know how many times you see that, you know, a coach and a player going to the same high school and being able to work together. You know, I think that's incredibly cool, and I think that's a lot to be proud of.
And even while coaching at the highest level, Toledo still grounds him. His parents and brother still live in the city. His nephew is now suiting up for Whitmer.
My parents, they still live in Toledo. My parents are still there. My brother, he's still there. And then my nephew is going to be a freshman for the football team. So that's cool to see.
From Whitmer to Michigan to the NFL, Kevin Koger has carried Toledo with him every step of the way, and now he's passing that knowledge on to the next generation.
For more on Koger's journey and advice to young athletes, you can watch Jamison's full interview with him right now on our website. Pretty cool there. Obviously, a lot of talent coming out of the Whitmer football program. But I was going to say, we saw Wormley in the package.
Yeah.
The pipeline from Whitmer to Michigan seems to be strong with Wormley and Koger.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And also, to use, kind of an injury, a setback, NFL dream kind of crushed, but then he turns that into coaching career, and now he gets to see these guys again. Super special to see him kind of bounce back in that fashion.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right, well, the wait is finally over. The NFL and college football both are officially back in action. And this week, our top 11 countdown, we're talking Toledo.
When you think about Toledo football, the Glass Bowl may come to mind, but over the years, the Rockets have sent some serious talent to the NFL. And this week on the leaderboard, we're counting down the top 11 Rockets making an impact in the league right now.
That's right, Noel. We start off with number 11. That's cornerback Gadar Holman. He was a 6th-round pick by the Packers back in 2019, and since then, Holman has played for teams like the Texans and most recently the Ravens last year. At number 10 is receiver Jerwan Newton, an important part of the Rockets roster over the past 5 seasons. Newton tried out for the Denver Broncos this fall. Unfortunately, he got cut, so he'll be looking for a new team to join.
Number 9 is cornerback Samuel Womack. He was drafted in round 5 of the 2022 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers. The former first-team All-MAC athlete played the past 2 seasons for the Indianapolis Colts before being claimed on waivers by the Tennessee Titans last week. Number 8 is defensive end Desjuan Johnson. The 3-time All-MAC star was drafted with the very last pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, also known as Mr. Irrelevant, by the Los Angeles Rams. He has stuck on the roster since and has tallied 3 NFL sacks so far.
At number 7 is defensive tackle Darius Alexander, a guy who shot up draft boards this offseason. Alexander has yet to play in a regular season NFL game yet, but will look to make an impact with the New York Giants after getting drafted in the 3rd round. Number 6 is Toledo native and safety Tyson Anderson. The St. John's Jesuit grad is heading into his 4th season with the Cincinnati Bengals. He's been with the team since they drafted him in the 5th round of the 2022 draft.
Number 5, another Toledo native, offensive lineman Storm Norton. The Whitmer graduate was a first-team All-MAC player in both 2015 and 2016. He entered the NFL Draft as an undrafted free agent in 2017 and quickly became a reliable swing tackle. He's appeared in 67 games with 22 starts, and he's currently with the Atlanta Falcons. Number 4 is fullback Reggie Gilliam, a walk-on who shined at Toledo from 2016 to 2019. Gilliam became a standout on special teams and offense. Since going undrafted in 2020, he's become a key contributor for the Buffalo Bills.
And at number 3 is cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, a 2-time first-team All-MAC performer. Mitchell was selected 22nd overall by the Eagles in the 2024 NFL Draft. He became a starter from day 1 and earned all-rookie honors last season, along with, of course, winning a Super Bowl championship. Number 2 is wide receiver Deontay Johnson, a 2-time first-team All-MAC standout in 2017 and 2018. Johnson proved a human highlight reel for the Rockets, drafted in the 3rd round of the 2019 draft. He's caught more than 400 passes for more than 4,700 yards and 28 scores. He was named to the Pro Bowl in 2021 and was a 2nd-team All-Pro in 2019.
Number 1 is running back Kareem Hunt. The Rockets' all-time leading rusher, Hunt dominated in 2016 with more than 1,600 rushing yards. Drafted in round 3 in 2017, he took off as a rookie, leading the NFL in rushing and earning Pro Bowl and all-rookie honors. He has since won a pair of Super Bowls with the Chiefs, running for more than 5,100 yards and 45 touchdowns as a pro.
Well, there you have it, our list of the top 11 Toledo Rockets currently active in the NFL. And with the season kicking off this week, it'll be fun to see who can make the biggest impact in the league this season.
The only thing we expect is, just go out there and just win.
The Buckeyes kicked off their season against Texas with defense leading the way. We'll show you how Ohio State sealed a statement win coming up next on the leaderboard. More than 100,000 fans packed the shoe this past weekend as Ohio State opened the season in style, unveiling their national championship banner, celebrating Lee Corso's final college game day, and hosting a top 5 showdown with Texas. I was there for all the action, so here's my recap of everything that took place. Let's be honest. There was nowhere else fans wanted to be than right here in the shoe. Because what better way to start the season than with the defending national champions hosting the #1 ranked Texas Longhorns, aka a rematch of last year's CFP semifinals. The day was absolutely packed with events, the shoe electric and loud as ever, with over 100,000 people back for the first time since last season, the reveal of OSU's 2024 national championship banner, Lee Corso's final college game day right back where it all started, and so much more. As for the game itself, a bit quiet to start. Both teams scoreless after the first, so now in the second, they're going for it on 4th and goal. Julian Sayin hands it off to CJ Donaldson, who finds the hole and gets through to the end zone. And just like that, the Buckeyes are on the board first. Starting left guard Luke Montgomery also hyped for their first TD of the season. They'd go into the half leading 7-0, so Texas trying to get on the board in the third. Quarterback Arch Manning makes the pass, but it's intercepted. Jermaine Matthews Jr. with the smooth hands to put Ohio State back on offense. They'd continue that drive into the 4th quarter. Sayin takes the snap, drops back, and launches the 40-yard pass to Carnell Tate, who makes the catch as he's tackled into the end zone. 6 more plus the extra point as OSU now leads 14-0. Texas able to get on the board with 3:30 to go, so now they're driving while trailing 14-7. Gets to be 4th down with 1.5 minutes to go, so they're going for it. Manning nearly gets sacked, but able to complete the pass. But Ohio State's defense makes the stop, one of 4 stops on 4th down they had on the day. And the Buckeyes come out on top in their season opener, 14-7 over Texas.
I thought the game plan was excellent, but the buy-in is what's most important. You know, plays are plays, scheme is scheme. But what matters is the guys and the Warriors on the field, you know, believing in it. The grittiness of our guys running around. There's a lot we can build on here, a lot we have to improve on. The team you see right now will not even be close to the team you see halfway through the season or at the end of the year, but it certainly makes the corrections a lot easier to make after a win against, you know, a top 5 opponent like this.
The whole saying this week was, you know, the only thing we expect is, you know, just go out there and just win. You know, that's the focus. You know, we're not expecting to do this on offense. You know, just go out there and win. And, you know, a big credit to our defense, you know, putting up a great performance and, you know, just going out there and operating.
The Buckeyes are at home again for their 2nd game of the season when they welcome in Grambling State.
Speaking of Ohio State, one of its most proud alums also earned an emotional victory in Week 1, that being Heisman Trophy winner Eddie George, who is now the head coach at Bowling Green State University. What a spectacle inside Deutsch Perry Stadium for the Falcons season opener. Nearly 20,000 fans in attendance and even more support along the sidelines to witness George lead his new program. Couldn't have asked for a better start to the game. Cameron Petaway on his very first collegiate touch took the opening kickoff 98 yards to the house, jump-starting a Falcon frenzy and giving George an early reason to smile. Now, his offense would struggle in Game 1, scoring just once against FCS opponent Lafayette, but his defense did not, holding the Leopards to under 200 yards of total offense. Junior kicker Jackson Cleather earning MAC Special Teams Player of the Week honors as well, going 4 for 4 on field goals, including a 56-yarder, second longest in program history. George, as you can imagine, a happy camper following his first victory with the Orange and Brown.
We knew it was going to be a tough challenge for us, given that we didn't know a lot about this team. There wasn't a lot of tape on them. There was a lot of turnover from a personnel standpoint. So it's like trying to figure out, you know, who are we first of all, and who are we going against. So I had to find out a lot about who we are under the lights and under pressure and facing adversity, and we responded to a lot of adversity tonight in a great way.
26-7 is how Bowling Green got its season kicked off. Now the competition does ramp up as George and the Falcons will travel to Cincinnati, a program they are undefeated against, perfect 4-0 record. Now for full transparency, the last time they played was 1994, and the Bearcats are 21-point favorites this weekend. So Noelle, I think, did Ohio State OSU go 2-0 technically this past weekend?
They did. They did certainly. Chase and I know you were shooting the game. Chase and I were on the sidelines, and when that opening kick lifted off the ground, Chase mentioned, he was like, could you imagine 2 years in a row returning the opening kick in the season opener for a touchdown? And sure enough, he came right down the sideline, right past us. Chase wasn't cheering until he got into the end zone, but I knew he was going all the way, creating that separation. So really electric start for Eddie George. And another Northwest Ohio tie to Ohio State. Luke Montgomery, none other than the Findlay High School alum, starting at left guard this weekend for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, pretty cool there. Obviously, he's got some time with the Buckeyes in the playoff last year. Finally getting to start the season at left guard. What atmospheres, too, to kick off the season. No better atmospheres. Doit with 20,000, obviously over 100,000 you were at the shoe. I mean, college football is back. We're loving it, right?
And dare I say, it was potentially louder in the shoe against Texas than the game last year. I don't want anybody to come for me, but I'm telling you, those Texas fans, I covered Texas at Michigan last year. I could see a lot of orange amid the maize and blue. I didn't see any orange in the stands, even though it's kind of less of a contrast with the scarlet, gray, red and gray. But I'm telling you, it was electric, low-scoring game, but nonetheless, the energy was off the chain.
Yeah. Both atmospheres were awesome and both great ways to kick off those seasons for each program, for sure.
Indeed.
For our season and for our team, that first one was so important.
From celebrating his first career win with an ice bath he hated to having his son in the radio booth for the call, we sit down with Justin Keller to talk football, family, and what it's like chasing that first season as head coach. From his first win on the sidelines to an ice bath he'll never forget, and celebrating his 27th wedding anniversary all on opening night, it's been a whirlwind start for first-year Whitmer head coach Justin Keller. This week on Chasing the Game, we sat down with him to talk about that milestone win, the changes ahead, and what it means to share this journey with his family.
Justin, thank you so much for coming in and doing this. Just appreciate it. How's life? How are things, man?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Things are busy. Things are really busy, but I appreciate you having me on today.
Absolutely. You guys are wrapped up week 2.
Yes.
You guys are going into week 3. What's the energy like in the locker room? You guys are 1-1, right? Just what's the energy like?
Yep, not bad. Obviously, we ran into a juggernaut in Detroit King on Friday night, but overall, things are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I know the last thing you guys probably want to do right now is look in the rear view, but I have to ask you, after that week 1 win, just how incredible was that? I know I talked to you right after the game, but for that to be your first career win, I mean, just how incredible was that? I mean, after years of being an assistant to finally be the head guy and to get a win in that fashion over Dublin Coffin.
Yeah, well, I'd like to think that first one was going to come at some time, obviously, but for our season and for our team, that first one was so important because, you know, I knew week 2 we were going to have our hands full with King, and I knew how important it was to start the season 1-0, knowing what we were going to face week 2. No one wants to start 0-2, and fortunately we were able to get that first one. So it meant a lot, and it was special getting that first win under our belt.
Yeah, you got the ice bath, I think, after the end of the game. How miserable was that water?
I am not a fan of cold water at all. Anyone that knows me knows, like, I'm not getting in a swimming pool if it's at least 80 degrees. I am not getting in, but it was pretty cold.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I would never be a coach just on that alone. It's the potential Gatorade bath. I think I bumped into your wife after the game who told me about that. She's like, he does not like cold water. Don't give him a Gatorade shot. So you have to be prepared for that for the rest of the season. And anytime you win a game, you got to be on the lookout for it, right?
Oh, it better not happen every game. Better not happen every game.
Elise, it was your 20. That was the other thing that made that game so special. Was it was your wife and you's 27th wedding anniversary. What's that like? Your relationship with Elise? What's it like being with your wife for however long you guys have been together? Just what's that relationship like? 27
years. Yeah, no, it's been awesome, and this wasn't the first opening day. We've had our anniversary fall on that date, and I as soon as I got the job and was looking at the schedule, we knew for a while now that was going to happen. But no, she's been awesome, and the other thing that was really cool is. It's been well documented. Last year I spent the year in the radio booth. Well, my son Riley took my seat as the color commentator on the radio for Whitmer Radio too. That so he was broadcasting his first game and got to broadcast that first win. So that made it a little extra special too.
Catch Chasing the Game on WTOL 11+, YouTube, and Spotify.
Well, that'll bring us to our WTOL 11 Leaderboard Poll of the Week, staying with the football theme.
That's right, Noelle. Last week we asked you on which sites do you play fantasy football. Your options were Yahoo, ESPN, Sleeper, Fantrax, and other. And the winner more than half the votes is actually other. Fantrax came in second. Yahoo and ESPN tied for third. So, Noelle, pretty surprising here. If they aren't playing on the other sites that I'm used to, where are they playing?
I'm going to be honest. This is only my second season ever playing fantasy. I didn't really get into it before, but now working on a staff with all you guys, it's kind of inevitable to not be in a fantasy league. So I only know how to do ESPN. I would think just alone that would be the most popular one. Have you used multiple?
So I use ESPN, I use Yahoo, and I use Sleeper.
Okay.
Basically the difference, just platforms, different ratings, different ways to kind of go about. It's all the same, really. It's just a different form of doing it. I've never heard of Fantrax, so I'm kind of curious as to what that is. I actually got the second most votes there. But I was also curious, too, how many people still don't play fantasy? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that maybe went away from it or feel like they just don't feel like they want to watch the games as a fan and not have to worry about which player is going to touchdown and all that.
I think those days are over. Everybody either
Everyone's
has a league or a parlay going in every game nowadays. That is not me personally. I'm not into all that.
Well, you're now a part of it, though. So
I meant parlays. But yeah, I am in the league.
Yes. No gambling here on the show, just simply fun fantasy. So, but we just drafted our teams.
Just drafted.
How do you feel about your team this year?
Okay, I got a grade C from ESPN for my draft, but I have Sonic and Knuckles from the Detroit Lions. And my quarterback is Joey B. So I feel confident personally. What about you?
Well, I feel good about my team. I got an A, but I will, for full transparency, everyone watching at home, she did steal my first pick. That was Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
So you are a thief, and hopefully he, doesn't do as well, but we'll see.
All right, well, that will bring us to this week's Leaderboard poll question of the week. This week, we're talking Hall of Famers from our area.
That's right. The question is, who is the best NFL player of all time from Northwest Ohio? Your choices are a pair of Hall of Famers, and Orlando Pace from Sandusky, and Charles Woodson of Fremont, plus future Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger, who starred at Findlay.
To vote, simply scan the QR code on your screen right now or head to WTOL11.com and head to the sports section. As always, we'll be back here next week to break down the results.
Coming up, the Rockets are making a splash ahead of their home opener. Literally, you don't want to miss this. That is next. Welcome back. Now it's time for our parent shout out of the week.
This week's shout out goes to Zane. He's a 7-year-old from Toledo. Take a look.
Zane just started second grade, and according to his mom, he loves two things, baseball and video games, adding he's pretty great at both.
But what really makes Zane stand out is his heart. Even while working through ADHD, he pushes himself every day. His teachers say he's always kind, supportive, and quick to help his classmates, even earning awards at school for those big acts of kindness.
All that makes Zane our WTOL 11 Parent Shoutout Athlete of the Week. Awesome to see there. 7 years old. I saw the hit. That was look at this. I mean, that is
wow,
right
nice
in the
liner.
outfield. That is some power from a 7-year-old.
Good contact there. That's what I look like in the batting cages, not to flex.
Oh, I think you say that's what you look like at 7. I mean, that would be impressive.
No, not at 7, at 23, yeah. Good for Zane, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, do you have a young athlete in your life? We want to show them off. Send us your best photos and videos. Your submissions could be featured in WTOL 11 sports specials and across our social media platforms.
Yeah, all you do is text your highlights and be sure to include your name, your star's name, and a hometown. That number, which you can see on the screen, is 419-248-1100, or you can email us, at sports@WTOL.com.
Finally, before we go, this week is the Toledo football's home opener in the Glass Bowl.
Yeah, Noelle actually helped splash home the excitement for UT, introducing herself to the touchdown take. Take a look.
It's up to you.
I like how Amanda then gives you the mic right after you come up for air.
Yeah, quick post-game interview there. She asked me how I felt. Honestly, I was a little in pain because I came up and hit my head on the diving board. I didn't know it went back up like that. So see right there, boom, whatever,
yes.
Live TV, we keep it going. It's all good. But yeah, honestly, I felt a little betrayed by Rocky. I didn't know he was the one that was going to be pushing the button.
Oh, were you hoping for someone else, or?
I was hoping nobody would do it, honestly. I thought it was just for show, but no, we
Wait, so you didn't know you were getting in the water?
I did, but
okay.
just getting up there, it's the suspense was scarier than actually going in, and then after it's like, all right, there's nothing I can do now. So it's all good.
Well, and you mentioned too, so President Holloway is actually going to be the first one this Saturday.
He is going to be in the first
Any
corner.
advice?
Yeah, I said swim forward so you don't hit your head when you're coming up.
Okay.
Swim forward in the tank so you don't hit your head on the diving board coming up. But yeah, he'll be in the first quarter. Of course, somebody new each quarter for every touchdown. Going in the tank for every touchdown the Rockets make.
Yeah, and they debuted that last year. I still don't envy anyone because I feel like they did this. The last home opener was like October, November. It's cold out there.
That's what everybody was saying. It's a brave souls they select and who actually agrees to do the touchdown tank in those months. I'm glad it was nice and sunny the day that I did it. Not doing it again.
There you go.
Well, that's going to do it for another episode of the Leaderboard here on WTOL 11+. I'm Noelle Blumel.
And I'm Tyler Segerman from our entire WTOL 11 Leaderboard team. We'll see you next game.